Many animals are attracted to rivers, and each one sees and experiences them in its own way. However, probably all of them see rivers as pathways of water. Long, liquid channels that cross continents. A concentration of greenery, humidity, and life. But rivers are more than that. They are a force of nature, capable of passing underneath mountains, crossing plains, or forming waterfalls. The secret to these great feats is water, which can wear down even the hardest rocks. Upstream, the waters appear crystal clear. They are slow-moving, calm and cold, and have not yet received the muddy waters of its tributaries. The riverbed is transparent, which affects the life of its inhabitants, who see and are seen through a liquid display. There is little privacy here. The advantage for the fish which live in this crystalline environment is that they can spot their enemies from afar. And they are instantly aware of anything that falls from the sky and swallow it up straight away. The river, still transparent, is home to abundant vegetation because the sun's rays filter through to its sandy bed. This generous helping of sunshine means that the plants oxygenate the riverbed every day. As the river swells in size, it slows down. But there is always someone who seeks out the calmer areas better suited to animals that cannot withstand strong currents. Dragonfly larvae are very happy in the stagnant pools around the riverbank. It is a perfect place to lie in wait without being noticed. Its extendable tongue captures with mathematical accuracy any little creature that happens to get too close. Downstream, the forests on the riverbanks are denser. They crowd together around the shore and cover part of the riverbed. One immediate effect of this is that various species of birds form their mating colonies here. Hundreds or even thousands of egret couples work hard to build their nests. There is a constant chatter. There is no end to the squabbles between couples or neighbors with their comings and goings. The chicks are aggressive in asking for food. This is their way of forcing their parents to spit up their breakfast. At the same time, parents who come late have to sit on their eggs. Some egrets are still mating. The youngest males monopolize receptive females, but despite this, they will not end up copulating with anyone except their own mating pair. It has built a nest with its other half, and they will want to be with the bird that brought up the chicks. The hubbub of these little colonies resounds around the shores of the great river. Egrets find food for themselves and their chicks by catching any little animal that comes its way. The young chicks are of different ages because incubation begins as soon as the first egg is laid. This has its advantages. Competition between siblings is always fierce, so whenever food is in short supply, it is usually the smallest that die. As harsh as this may seem, it is nevertheless an efficient mechanism that allows the colony to survive in times of scarcity. Waste from the colony goes into the river, a reward for the safety and food it provides. All the herons are designed to be very involved with the water. For example, the purple heron is commonly found near large rivers. It moves cautiously, and it tends to spend long periods waiting. It knows that a good catch will feed everyone for a day, and that a false move could scare off its prey. The heron sets us on the trail of barbelfish. This leads us to discover the middle part of the major European rivers. Barbels and related species play an important part in the environment of this part of the river. They like dense, slow-moving, dark waters. Barbels have sensory barbs which help them to sense their environment and find food in the murky bottom. Many of the fish which dwell in this part of the river have highly developed tactile sensors to compensate for the lack of light. Tropical rivers have the highest flow. The Amazon River alone contains 15% of all the world's water. Its powers of attraction draw every kind of animal to participate in the life of the river in some way. Life is concentrated around its banks, in trees and edges. Herons are also present here and play the same environmental role as they do in temperate rivers. There are nocturnal herons that hide above the river in the branches that jut out over the water. There, they wait for night to fall. Little egrets move around the roots and low branches. Other larger ones call out from the tall trees on the bank. All of the herons have survival equipment with one special cosmetic feature: powder-down feathers. These special feathers provide a layer of absorbent powder which they carefully rub into their down. Tapirs also need to be close to the water in order to survive. The life of this strange forest dweller is intertwined with the proximity of water. There it takes refuge from its sworn enemy, the jaguar, as well as smaller enemies such as pesky insects. It spends a large part of its day, around 17 hours, looking for food. The tapir spreads a great deal of seeds, which, curiously enough, it defecates into the water, which means that the plant seeds can travel long distances. But you don't need to be an aquatic animal to be seduced by the big river. Iguanas also frequent the shores and are good swimmers. They can usually be found calmly basking in the sun on the branches or big tree trunks that stick out over the river. The riverbanks are stuffed with the ripe fruit that falls from the trees by the water's edge. Maybe the iguana is unaware that something dangerous lies around the corner. It is a related species that could devour it. The alligator. Since they do not tend to grow very large, they mainly eat small fish and amphibians, although they also kill herons or iguanas if the opportunity presents itself. In the forest, it is clear that rivers are closely related to their immediate environment. The border between land and water is hazy and ever-changing. The plants and animals which live on its shores build their life around the running water of the river. Fruit, branches, leaves, and seeds fall into the water like miraculous manna into the clutches of river dwellers. The river constantly absorbs a significant amount of organic matter, such as the leftovers cast off by monkeys or the carcasses of drowned animals. And it seems that there is always someone interested in this constant supply. For plants, the river provides a vital means of transport. They are motorways that carry along seeds and aquatic plants, which are on a one-way trip, as they will never make it back upstream. Trees use the river to disseminate their fruits further afield and conquer new territories. The husks of the fruit help them to float along as if they were little pouches. Some fish even make a temporary home in this floating waste. But the river also has a less friendly aspect. Predators are forever on the lookout and won't let any opportunities slip by. In this instance, the river has honored them with a drowned animal. The crocodiles will take care of its remains, efficiently fulfilling their role of keeping the river clean. The lack of light is an important cover for predators. They often hide and lie in wait in the darkness. In the densest part of the river, the senses are developed to perfection. Powerful, accurate eyes and an extremely sensitive sense of touch enable them to detect any potential victim. Predators and victims are just a small part of life on the riverbed. The vast river attracts an endless variety of creatures, which in one way or another contribute to one of the most dynamic and varied ecosystems on the planet.